All right, hello, welcome everyone. It is time to explore the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma, specifically on campus. My name is Becca Briley, SWIHA Success Coach. I have been with SWIHA for over a decade and love the offerings that we have by popular demand, some amazing specialties. And joining us today is Brian Sheldon, SWIHA's academic advisor of this program. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Becca.
Thank you for joining us because you are very valuable in the Q&A portion that we'll be exploring with everyone here, because we want to know what it's really like to sit in the seat of a student. Some of us are adults who are like, do we want to go back to school? Do we follow our heart? So for those of you joining on social media, we're going to start with asking those attendees, what's your why? You know, what brings you here to explore the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma? We call it IHAP for short, at Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, called SWIHA. Obviously, we have a lot of long names, so we use acronyms to keep it simple. So perfect. I'm going to go ahead, share my screen, and then the participants who are in here now, just raise your hand when you would like to be unmuted, and I can share that with you. Which screen am I sharing? Can you see that?
The PowerPoint up.
Perfect. Okay, that helps. Wonderful. So obviously we have a newly revised version of this program that's rolling out. That's why we're here sharing it with you today. So bring the good questions. We want you to ask the questions, knowing this starts very soon. You need to enroll like ASAP, right, Brian?
Yeah, the program starts, I believe it's September 6th or yeah, September 6th. So coming up here in a few weeks. So yeah, we do recommend enrolling if you're interested, connecting with our academic team, our admissions team, and reaching out about any questions you might have about the program.
Yes, and that's more specific to you. So what we want you to do at the end of this call is just make sure that you connect with a coach who can really ask the powerful questions and do what you'll eventually be doing as a holistic healing arts practitioner, to hold space to ask the powerful questions, and for the person in front of you, you in this case, being able to say out loud maybe some things you've never even said for the first time. So today we're going to go over, you know, your why you're here, what brings you here, the core curriculum of this program. We're going to talk about it being a coaching focused, coaching as the foundation, explore the specialties, so help you have an idea of which specialty, kind of what's your lane, which way do you want to go with it, and obviously ask your questions because a lot of other people will have the same questions. So for those of you just joining us now, before we jump into all of the goodies, we are curious, what is your why? What brings you here? So you can type in the Q&A, or you can just raise your hand and share. Khadijah, would you like to share your why? Can't hear you if you are trying to speak.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yep, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I didn't actually mean to have my hand up, but I will share my, no, I can still answer the question. I've always been drawn to your institute. So when I saw the email come about, I wanted to jump on and see what opportunities. I'm going through a transition phase of my life, and I'm just being called in this direction. So
beautiful. Well, we're glad to have you here. Thank you for saying yes to exploring the possibilities. Brian and myself are healing arts practitioners. We've been students. We have worked for SWIHA, instructors. So through every aspect of the curriculum, we are happy to share our experience. Of course, yours will be your own. So welcome. Yeah. Ask all the questions as we move through each of the specialties here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anna, did you want to share your why? What brings you to this exploration today?
Yes, the word transition is a great one for me too. One of the things that has been going on, I went up to the mountains in Sedona, and I was there for a few months, and it just seemed like everyone was telling me I needed to go into the intuitive arts. So living out in Arizona, I thought I would pick the best. This one came up as number one. It's actually on the number one global list also. And I was impressed. Yes. So I was very impressed with all the different classes in the printed out catalog. I did speak with an admissions specialist, and then I got these emails and joining today. But I've got a little bit of a situation I want to ask about. Every state has their different requirement hours for the massage therapist licensing. And so my family's in Texas, and I'm actually in Texas right now. And I have visited a couple of the massage therapy places and talked over the phone. And I'm a little confused about a couple of things because I want to get licensed in both Texas and Arizona. Do you follow what I'm saying? That my question is going to be, I don't want to waste a lot of time and money. I would love to take all the courses. They're so wonderful. I mean, they really are, but that could be jillions of dollars, and I would never get out there to work. So massage therapy attracted me first, but the intuitive arts and integrated healing arts. So then, of course, they have Black Swan Yoga over here, and I had already talked to the training coach there. So I kind of spread out. How do I incorporate all of this? And is it possible? If it's not, do I just begin with the basic 500 hours that I need for the basic Texas licensing requirement, and then try to bring in some other courses that I'm interested in? Because let me tell you, I want to eventually specialize in Ashiatsu, barefoot massage therapy.
Okay. Yeah.
My background being dance and theater, I just thought, hey, that's a great way to just use your whole body if you can use your hands and your feet.
Awesome.
Am I asking too much to try to put all that together?
That is so perfect. And where we would start with that, so in my previous role at Sweeha, I was an admissions coach. And the important part that we would want to start with you or anyone is asking, like, are you previously full-time employed, or are you going to be taking this education for like gainful employment to fully move maybe from one job or career to another? So if that were the case, you might want to go the massage route first and then add this on. Building your own clientele, knowing that you want to be licensed in Texas and here. So that you want to have that conversation with a coach, and they know all of the hours. They can talk about all that with you. I believe what we do offer is covered in Texas, but you do have to get certified in Texas separately in Texas to answer that. Yeah.
Right.
So
well, my address is in Arizona right now. So, registration for vehicles and all is all
but
Arizona.
This will transfer beautifully there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Well, let's dive into the specialties, because as we walk through this, it might start to unfold for you.
Okay.
So let's dig into it right now to get started, and then we'll really get a little more into it. Okay.
All right.
But that's awesome. Thank you. Beautiful vision. And then Stephanie put, I'm here to continue my healing journey, and I'm called to heal and want to develop my spiritual healing gifts as well as develop business aspect. Want to go more holistic approach instead of normal counseling therapy. And this is what helped me to heal my journey. Sweeha offers everything I'm looking for to develop myself, and also as a business aspect, help me heal the world. Hoorah! Are you a veteran, Stephanie, is my first question. We do offer financial aid and Title IV funding, and we do accept VA benefits, which is cool. I will be doing the online program, but wanted to join in today and listen to all the information. No, but your son is a Marine. Okay. Well, thank him for his service, please. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Let's dig into the goodies of what this core curriculum is really all about and what it means to be a holistic entrepreneur. Talk about the core courses and the IHAP core courses. I did also want to pull up for everyone to see a program sheet, because this is very helpful in helping you really take a look at the full scope and coursework of what this refers to. Okay. So Brian, when you're sitting with students and after they've enrolled and they bring in this beautiful piece of paper that they're dedicating their soul to, right? How do you begin to explain understanding this?
So there's a few courses, and you can see from the program sheet that Becca's put up on the screen. As a part of the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner program, we have our Holistic Entrepreneur core courses up there at the top, and then the IHAP core courses, all of which are, core, are required for the IHAP program. The amazing thing about these programs here at Sweeha is that we don't just teach you something and then send you out into the world to just kind of figure out on your own what to do with it. Sweeha's mission includes we empower our students to discover their gifts and graces and share them with the world in a loving and profitable way. And I'm not sure when it was. I joined Sweeha about 4 years ago, but at some point along the way, Casey decided to add the loving and profitable way, because we want our students to take what they learn here and go out and be able to create these successful holistic business practices, or whatever type of business you want to create with this education, and have the knowledge of starting your own business, of creating a business plan, of learning how to use media, whether it's social media or writing blogs or creating a website or whatever that might be. And so these business courses you see here at the top are a big part of that. The top one, BC 530, the introduction course, is one of the first courses that our students will take as a part of this program. I will actually teach that course along with James Patrick here at Sweeha sometimes. So if you're enrolled in the program, you might see me on day 2, which is always really fun. It's great to get to know the students and understand what their goals and their visions are. And then towards the end of the program, they'll take the BC 540, the development, and then BC 542 is one of the last classes they take, the entrepreneurship. Becca, you were actually my instructor for BC 542. Yeah.
Yes.
Like 3 or 4 years ago. It was amazing. Wow. Full circle. But these classes are fantastic. Like I said, it's not an MBA. It's not a whole entire business degree. It's just a really introductory level of how to understand how to create a business. If you want to file for an LLC, or if you want to get a trade name, or even if you want to take your business to another state, these are things that you can learn about through creating this holistic practice. Looking down at the IHAP core courses, we have the courses that we find most well-rounded and powerful for the integrative healing arts part of the diploma that we offer here. And so you will drop into things like the somatic psychology. So working with the nervous system and the somatics, so the physical body, but also understanding how the physical body is connected to the mind, that psychology piece. That's a phenomenal class. I'm actually taking it. I've taken bits and pieces of it, but I'm taking it in full.
I've taken it on campus and it is very powerful.
I actually started, so I'll be taking it on September 6th. So if you are enrolled in the program, I'll see you in class. But then we have some other really amazing classes: heart-centered leadership, the coaching classes that are more on the spiritual side. We've got some EFT, the emotional freedom techniques, building resiliency and stress management. That psychology of addiction class is incredible. It really helped me to understand not just what we refer to as like, hard addictions like drug and alcohol and things like that, but, negative thinking patterns like that. Little things that we would be addicted to, chocolate or even exercise can be an addiction. So that was a really powerful one. But when you enroll in the program, you'll get this sheet. You'll come and meet with me as I'm the academic advisor for this program. And then we go through your whole schedule and we'll build it out for the entire length of your schedule. So you can sit down and see what your calendar looks like for the full time that you'll be here in this program.
Which is very important to know that when you look at this sheet, your courses will not go in this order.
Correct.
This is just for you to understand, like, kind of building blocks. It's just organized in this way. Common question people have, Brian, how many classes will they take at a time within this program?
So typically for the IHAP program, they'll have anywhere from 2 to 4 classes a week. Depending on the specialties you take, and we'll get to that in a little bit here, but depending on your specialties, courses are typically in the evenings or on weekends. So most of the students that I have right now will have 2 to 3 classes in the evenings, and then maybe 1 or 2 weekends a month. Try not to overdo it. We understand that our students have full-time jobs and families and lives. So being able to spread those courses out over the course of the full, I believe it's 75 weeks, helps to really spread things out.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. It says 71 to 75 calendar weeks, 67 instructional weeks, because you guys still need breaks, right?
Good holidays, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need our Thanksgiving week off, we need our Christmas, we need our 4th of July, you get a fall break. So you do have those breaks in there. And, Brian's in there to talk with, because life happens, we know. He's there to hold space for you in case, you need to move a class here and there. So we're very understanding, as we call ourselves a conscious college community. So good explanation on those core courses. They are the building blocks of what you'll be doing. And let's move on to the specialties. But first, let's talk about selecting a coaching focus. So I'll let you speak, Brian, to the health and wellness coaching and the life coaching, if you want to do that, since that's your forte. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I started my journey here at SWIHA with life coaching. It evolved into health and wellness coaching, and now Linda and Casey are bringing life coaching back. So there's bits and pieces of life coaching in the health and wellness coaching, but through the way this program has kind of evolved, we've recognized that coaching is at the center of everything. If you're working with clients, period, if you're working with groups, it's important to be able to know how to speak with clients, to speak with participants, with whatever it is you're doing, again. But coaching is at the center of that. So like Becca spoke to, knowing what your why is, what your vision might be, can help you to understand which one of these routes you might want to take. Health and wellness coaching, right now it's 120 hours for the core classes. We also offer a full 200-hour program that's going to be more focused on the medical side of things, which is that health and wellness coaching. So if you were to do that, then you have the option to get certified through the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. So that's an option, but that one's going to be focused on foundations of wellness coaching. There's group coaching classes. So it's a really all-encompassing, wonderful approach to coaching. Life coaching in particular is going to be more focused on the spiritual side of things. So if you have your own, again, depending on the values and the vision that you have, life coaching is supporting people with the vision that they have and that they want to create. So it doesn't necessarily need to be focused on anything in particular, but students who go for life coaching are typically focused more on the spiritual coaching side. But still a really beautiful introduction to coaching, and using that as like Becca said, the building blocks of how you create your holistic practice around the coaching education.
Well said. And I'd like to clarify something too, because until you've taken coaching, you don't fully understand the power of coaching, because you're really not even coaching.
Right.
You're asking. And this is essential to know, because there's two words that come up for us humans: projection and transference. So when we sit without being educated about what we're really doing, when we're listening to someone, we might be putting our story into listening to their story. Or we might ask questions and kind of guide where we want them to take it. Or we might have some like subtle agenda of like, okay, I'm going to use some reverse psychology, ask the question, and you tell me what I want to hear.
Right.
Right. So we have to remove self when we step into a coaching session, when we're really, really intending, we're very intentional about this, to hold sacred space, to fully listen and ask the question so that the client in front of you can speak truth so deeply that it can be transformative and healing in that space.
Yeah.
So isn't that huge, Brian? Can you just like the power of like becoming a coach and sitting in that space, but still watching those parts of self, like ego, still kind of pop up as you are developing as a practitioner?
Yeah, it's amazing. And even having done it for, 4 or 5 years now, it's amazing how each session I continue to learn more and more about myself. And it's interesting too, because like I don't think there's a word in English for what we really do here. Like I don't even really like the term coaching, because it makes me think of, like a sports coach, and they're kind of telling you what to do. That's the opposite of what coaching is. Like Becca said, like it's really about active listening and like supporting the client as they guide themselves to where they want to go. Because the whole idea of coaching, from the way that we teach it, is that the client has all of the answers they need, or they have all the answers that they seek. They might just need a little bit of support and guidance, and being able to ask the right questions to get to that place.
Yeah, that's the power of coaching. That's what I really just want to be clear on here. I think the powerful part where the coaching does come in is the accountability component on the back end of that self-awareness and that self-accountability, and then the plan of action with you as a practitioner, if you're that coach, is accountability. How is your client going to fully dedicate and commit to their change so much that they have weekly sessions, or they do text check-ins, or they're writing a journal, or what have you? There's a method, right? So that's kind of where the coaching, I think, can really come into play there. You agree, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a big piece. I mean, I know for myself, like I know exactly what I need. I know how I should treat my body. I know what I should do. Do I do it? Sometimes, but it helps me to have a coach too, to work with that accountability piece. And it keeps me motivated to continue moving forward on that journey.
Same. I still need accountability too. And as coaches, even Casey says, every coach has a great coach, because even our humanness will still get the best of us. If we can admit that, good for us. If we can't, we still have some work to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But keeping it real is the first step. So the intuitive guidance and coaching is, really more about honing your gifts, working with angels, guides, ancestors, maybe some ceremony, tarot, pendulum, really being able to activate the spirit realm, which takes some practice, trusting yourself. Have you ever said like, or thought about someone, and then they call you like immediately, and you're just like, oh my God, I was just doing it. I was just talking about you or thinking of you. And it's like, that's when you're kind of like on point, you're in alignment, you can call people in, you get divine messages. So maybe you want to hone that gift, and maybe that's what brings you here. Now, remember, for those of you who are looking at a larger, different program, you can always add things on as individual certificates of excellence, individual classes. So that's where you really got to work with the coach to figure out which program do I start with, and then how do I add these tools to like kind of with where I want to go with this. Khadijah has a good question as we move into the specialties, Brian. Is there an option to take classes during the day?
We offer some energetic classes during the day. There's a
And
few.
I have the class calendar right here too.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
I would say for the most part, the IHAP classes are going to be in the evenings or on weekends. So typically Monday to Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. and then Friday evening 6 to 10, and then Saturdays and Sundays are typically all day depending on the length of the class.
And this is going to be really helpful for everyone on this call. Like, for example, I pulled up Somatic Psychology. Depending on when you start. So for example, if you were to start on the 6th with Brian, you'd be going Wednesdays from 6 to 9:45. So you can flip through this. I'll put the link in chat, but you can literally take this program sheet. Okay, you can look at the course code or the name of the class. Then you can flip through. How cool is that? Let's go to EFT.
I love that it makes the little paper noise too.
I love that sound. I really do. I'm so glad Carmen has that in there. So when we're looking at where did it go? I need to zoom in because I can't see. Okay, there it is, EFT. We're looking at a Saturday class, an all-day Saturday class. So it's really gonna vary. And this can help you determine if you take this online or on campus. And next week we have the online webinar. So I'm going to put both of these links in chat because this is going to be very valuable for you, Khadijah. And let me type that answer here. There's that calendar. While I put that in here, Brian, you want to talk about the health and wellness coaching with holistic nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. So I spoke a little bit about health and wellness coaching. And then on top of that, we have the holistic nutrition certificate program. It's incredible. I mean, I thought I knew a good amount about nutrition when I came to Sweeha, and was blown away by how just in depth the program is, and just the awarenesses that we teach around the type of food that we're buying, where we're buying it from, nutrients. We have 2 classes within that program that are on campus in the kitchen. I'll say cooking for one, because one of them is a raw class, so preparing food.
There you go.
And they're always like in the break room here at Sweeha, they'll bring the leftover food from class sometimes, and it's always incredible. I had some today, actually. It was absolutely delicious. And just with that, there's also like a nutrition coaching class that kind of caps off that program. So understanding how to take the coaching education and work specifically with the nutrition piece. And so if you like food, if you like cooking, and you want to be able to serve your clients with that knowledge of the holistic nutrition and everything that comes with it, it's a really beautiful modality and that specialty focus.
That makes me happy to hear that, because I learned in this program too that, when you cook your food at a certain temperature, you actually kill the nutrients in your food. And I didn't know that until I took the nutrition program at Sweeha. So now I'm very mindful not to overcook my veggies, which I totally did last night. I left it in the oven like way too long.
It happens.
Janet Lee would have been like, okay, oh well, it happened. But we also do prep you for the NBHWC exam, which is huge. So if you want like that extra backing, that certification through an accredited company, you know, that you can do that. So it's powerful. And a lot of your own healing journeys will bring you to this. You know, as a coach, I think one thing I loved the most was hearing people's self-healing stories of like, this is what the doctors told me I had. Here's what I removed from my diet. And I'm like, I've never been better, you know. And I will name them: processed sugar, dairy, red meat, and gluten. Just got rid of them. Autoimmune disease, disorders, I mean, all kinds. People just have healed themselves through that awareness and choice. So food is medicine.
It is,
Amen.
yeah. And I won't speak for you, Becca, but I know
Yeah.
through myself and my journey, and so many of us here at Sweeha, we come to this work because we have our own trials and tribulations that we experience in our lives with our health, and we learn what works for us. We learn all these different modalities to support ourselves. And for myself personally, I want to be able to share what worked for me, what I learned, to help others not have to deal with the different health things that I've had to deal with, and still do sometimes. And that's a part of the journey.
And that is so useful, Brian. I'm glad you said that, because when you're defining your niche market and your demographic, a lot of times your avatar is you. It's like, who's sitting in front of you? It's someone who's can relate to, or you've been through something similar.
Right.
Remember, even though we don't project or assume our stories like theirs, but you have credibility because you've been through something similar that they've been through. Like for me, image and eating disorders was a problem growing up. You know, I had this ideal image. I have to be like this and look like this. I was doing it in all the wrong ways. And until I learned the right ways, then it became almost effortless. I was eating for the right reasons versus the wrong ones.
Absolutely.
Shifted everything. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. So we have this new and exciting one that we're rolling out, and this is by popular demand, which I just hosted a webinar last week with Joel, who will be the lead instructor for the Modern Spirituality Celebrant and End of Life Doula. So what this is it's really being able to support your clients as they're going through that grieving process. You can also conduct rituals, hold ceremonies, honoring, progressing to their end of life all the way up to their end of life. This goes hand in hand with not only working with the client, but the whole family, because sometimes people can't speak for themselves when they're entering those final stages of life. So here's the big takeaway from that webinar for those who joined. There were so many profound stories and on their why of why they came. And the one was this: don't bypass my opportunity to embrace death. It's don't tell me I'm going to live. Don't tell me I'm going to be okay. When someone asks, am I dying? It's okay to help them be at peace with that, right? And embrace that and have their families embrace that. So it was actually really beautiful to hear like everyone who was in attendance just say like, it's beautiful. It's part of life. It's natural. And you can make it as enjoyable as possible. So that is what it's all about for becoming a doula. And then you do have the Reiki. You could take traditional, shamanic, or holy. You have some electives in there. Powerful specialty. Spiritual transformation focus. This is where you can learn holistic techniques to develop like your intuitive gifts. You can become a spiritual leader, host sacred ceremonies. And here you can actually do polarity or cranial unwinding, which is pretty big. Also Reiki, like the 3 options I shared. What else would you say about this specialty, Ryan?
You spoke to the intuitive side of things. Energetics are something that I didn't fully understand when I first came to Sweeha, and being able to experience them, it's almost like one of those things that's hard to describe with words. It's one of those things you almost have to experience, but it's the play with the energetics. So the practice of understanding how energy is stored in the body. So a lot of times we think of like, oh, you know, my shoulder's hurting, I'm going to get a massage, and we get a massage and nothing changes. It's because we might be like storing some energy there from past experiences or stress that we're holding on to. And so polarity and cranial are both really incredible modalities. Cranial focused more on like the head, the spine, and the cerebral spinal fluid, but just helping the body to come back into alignment. It goes much deeper than that. But that's a really awesome one. And then like you spoke to the Reiki, the traditional shamanic and holy, being able to create ceremonies and hold space in a different energetic way for your clients.
Yeah. Amazing. And, you know, when they say emotions are energy in motion, if you have some blockages and you're holding some stuff in, you're stuffing it down and not releasing, you can guarantee it's going to show up in the physical body. And when I came to that awareness, I think it was polarity for the first time, it moved big energy. I mean, big. It unlocked me. I had release and I felt free. Like it was absolutely amazing. Now I'm a sucker, man. You put me on that table and if I'm holding in anything, I will just let it go, because that's what I'm there to do.
Yeah.
So powerful. Advanced hypnotherapy is amazing. I actually interviewed Amanda Dodd last Wednesday. So if you want to take a look at that last video replay for anyone who's interested, she's actually coaching hypnotists now on how to integrate intuitive, being an intuitive guide, with hypnotherapy, which is interesting and awesome. She actually got a client from us doing that interview live. So good job, Amanda. But I love hypnotherapy. And I'll be honest, it took me almost 10 years working at Sweetheart to even have my first hypnotherapy session, because I was a doubter myself. Yes, the media makes it look all woo-woo and scary, but it's extremely powerful. I used it for public speaking purposes. It worked wonders. And I took the hypnotherapy 100 hours. I have not done the advanced. I would love to do that in the future, but very powerful if you just want hypnotherapy to be your focus. And it is highly sought out for creating that change. It works with the subconscious, which I would say is like 80 to 90% of our driving operators, where we operate from. So working with that part of your client is amazing. And then again, what supports that? Life coaching. Got to ask those powerful questions, see what came up for them in session. Anything to add there, Brian?
No, I mean, hypnotherapy is what drew me to Sweeha. So I have a special place for it in my heart. If you're interested in hypnotherapy, that 100-hour program is amazing. And then once you complete that, being able to dive deeper into things like dreams and metaphors, into the, you know, more of psychology of addiction, subconscious intervention, script writing. So learning how to write hypnotherapy scripts. I mean, those advanced classes are absolutely phenomenal. And Linda Bennett has been one of the biggest names in hypnotherapy for the past 30, 40 years at this point. She's incredible. Yeah. And the fact that she's still here teaching is it's so beautiful. I'm hoping to take a few more classes with her in the next couple months. So it's a wonderful program.
Amen. And she wrote most of that curriculum. We can give her that credit. She's awesome. Queen of hypnotherapy, we call her.
She is.
She's taken it into the hospitals and doing major things with pain and stress management, which is very big. So last one, yoga. So Anna, if you're also wanting to add yoga on your tool belt, I am a yoga teacher. Brian, are you a yoga teacher too?
I am.
Thought so. Okay. Yay, yogis. But if you want to add this to your tool belt, also you can do that. Again, it's just a really good way to help connect guilt, which what yoga is, the mind, body, spirit, the breath, and just learning to be instead of always do. So beautiful options here. What would you say for those who are yoga focused?
I love the way that we teach yoga here. I think because so many programs, or I'll say yoga teacher trainings in the US, are so focused on the physical piece and don't dive into the spiritual side of like the origins of yoga and talking about the Yoga Sutra and learning the really like deep understanding of what yoga actually is. Because there's 8 limbs of yoga, and the movements are one of those 8 limbs, and it's not even in the top 3. So like when I learned that, it was just like, wow, like there's so much I don't understand. And so being able to learn about that, and then also being able to teach the postures and learn more about my own practice was just such a cool experience.
I like that you call them postures and not poses. That's ingrained in you too.
It is.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. So these are your specialties for the on-campus Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma. I want to open it up to all of you for some Q&A. So Stephanie, Khadijah, and Anna, what questions do y'all have? You can type them in, or I can just unmute you.
I think Anna has her hand up.
I see that. Anna, I'm going to ask you to unmute. There we go.
Okay. So
hi again.
My question, hello. Can you hear me okay? Just turn the air on.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the temperatures going like y'all do in Arizona now. I don't know what's going on with Texas. The irony to this whole thing is, and I've been this way, I already know, I have a hard time making decisions. And is there a specific person that specializes in the vocational path, maybe testing or, you know, how to, you know, do a little coaching to me to help me make, because I can't pick 3 specialties, right? I mean, that's just going to be not something that would work.
Actually have, when you connect with an admissions coach, we actually have a questionnaire that you can fill out, which is kind of like a guide that will help you determine kind of your path and which way you want to start. So we actually do have that. So yes, the answer is yes. And it's all going to come down to connecting with a coach so they can hold space specifically dedicated to you to understand what's most important right now, and then how you can build upon that to gain all of these tools that you want. And I love that you have that self-awareness and can say, you know, like, hey, I'm really bad about making like decisions. That's okay, right?
And I'll speak to that as well, because I resonate with that, Anna. And so we have our core courses, the business courses, and then the IHAP core kind of spiritual coaching and things like that. But if you were to choose an elective, like you're like, I want to try polarity, I don't know if I'm going to like it, and you take that first polarity class and you realize, okay, maybe polarity is not for me, you do have the option to change those elective classes. So if you want to dive into like, you know, I want to try to take hypnotherapy, I want to try to take polarity and see which one you're more comfortable with, you're not locked into those electives when you sign up. So you do have the option to move things around.
Good to know.
Yeah. Khadijah, do you have any questions for us? I'm going to ask you to unmute. There you go. Sorry.
No, you're fine. My question would be the flexibility as far as, because next week you say we have the online presentation if we would decide to do online. You mentioned like Saturday classes. If I were taking online classes, would I have the option of doing, like, example, the cooking class? Can I go on campus to do the cooking, or how does that work when there's something that's hands-on and if I'm enrolled in the online program?
Right. You're asking if there's like a hybrid kind of style?
I guess that's what they call it nowadays. Yeah.
Well, really the answer is no, because the curriculum's set up a little bit different than it is on campus. Brian, have you had any circumstances with the new curriculum where that's possible?
Not yet. I will.
Okay.
The answer is no, but I will allude to the fact that we are working on a hybrid program. So if being on campus full time or taking just online classes is something you're not interested in, stay in touch, follow our social media and things like that. And in the future, hopefully within the next year, we might be bringing in a hybrid program.
Yeah. And I will say this, what I do know is that if you've completed like a class that's equivalent, at least for online and on campus, if you've completed that or are taking that, it's like you need to complete it online as you've signed up to complete. And you could also ask, can I sit in as a student in person? You know, so it's not one or the other, it could be both, but you just want that in-person experience. I would say explore that option. But to complete it hour-wise, to be legit, you know, since we are a nationally accredited college, it would have to be done by what your program sheet says you're completing.
Certainly. And we always have the option to take individual classes. So if you're taking an online program, but you're interested in coming on campus and taking a cooking class, you can always sign up for classes additionally on top of your program.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And I want to share this with everybody too. This is the whole web page that really does provide the program sheet. So let me take you the long way on our ginormous website. If you just scroll to the main homepage, just scroll down a little bit. This is the program we're talking about right here. You can view more. This is online. This is on campus. We're going to go view more. Select which one you want. So this one specifically is on campus. Breaks down the coaching focuses we just went over. All of the specialties we just went over. And then you can also, for those of you who are looking to apply for financial aid, you can see if you qualify using our school code, which is 035933. I've had that ingrained in my brain for a while. But you can see if you qualify for that as well, which is financial aid page. And that code is right here with a link to where you can start to fill out your FAFSA, because it's coming up, class is coming up so quick that you do need to connect with the coach if you're interested, whether it's online or on campus. Just connect with the coach to get that conversation started so you know your pathway to possibilities, right? What else? What am I forgetting? What other questions do you have? These are great questions, you guys. Khadijah, anything else?
That is all that I have at the moment.
Okay, very good. Anna, anything from you, my dear?
Thank you very much. It's been an experience, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yay, wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us. Thank you for sharing your why. I'm sure you will find your path, and hopefully we'll see you very soon. And for anyone who's interested, who didn't join us live, just leave a comment, visit, connect with the coach, and just see where your journey might take you. Brian, do you have any last pieces coming in that you'd like to share with the audience?
Oh, I think we covered everything. And the invitation is, if you're curious about the classes that we teach here or enrolling in a program, it's very easy just to reach out to one of our admissions coaches and connect, even if you're not sure, even if it's something that might be completely new. Everyone here at SWIHA is here because we want to support our students to dive into any of the modalities that we offer here. We love SWIHA. and seeing it flourish and seeing our students just excited and passionate about what they're doing is what keeps me coming here every day to help support my students. And I'm always taking classes. I love what we offer here, and love continuing to grow and evolve on my own journey.
Amen. And I will say for me, when I say that I want to help or hold space for someone to heal, I'm going to be called to do that for myself. It's kind of like, oh, being baptized by fire, right? Like if I say I can do this work, I'm going to ask to do my own work, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but it's going to be a ready, consistent, are you practicing what you preach, Becca? And the answer has not always been yes. So me being able to be accountable with myself and go, wow, that ego is really creeping in right now, or, you know, I see that. I think really knowing that my own healing journey was part of my practice as a holistic entrepreneur, to really be able to show up, to feel confident that I am a practitioner because I'm practicing my practice for a good reason.
Right.
And I have to stay so real and honest with myself to be committed to my own change in order to credibly hold that space for another soul. So that's my big piece for the takeaway for today. So
Love that.
That's heavy, right? You feel that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that trauma can cause some behaviors that you're thinking, that's not mine, that's not me, that's them. And then wait a minute, no, that's all me. So beautiful. Well, thank you all. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed evening. Reach out and talk to a coach. You'll have conversations very open, transparent, just like this. And just be guided where you're meant to be guided, and trust. All right.
Thank you guys. This was great.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Becca. Good to see you.
See y'all out there. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.